Hey, what's up everybody? Heart Metal Reviews here once again. Today we're doing another new album review for you, and we're going to be talking some black metal. We're talking about Afsky with their new album, hundrede. This was released March 15th, 2023, so this is a couple weeks ago already. But honestly, even though I could have focused on some that maybe just came out this past weekend, I wanted to go back and review this one, as this is possibly my favorite album of the month so far. And this month has been absolutely stacked with releases. I've done so many reviews, and this is possibly the album that has stuck out the most in my mind. So anyways, if you've never heard this band before, this is a one-man atmospheric black metal band from Denmark. This is his third full-length album. He's also had a couple EPs. The man behind the band's name is Ole Petersen Luke. He's also in some other projects, most notably maybe hundrede, who released a very great album from last year, more on the medieval black metal side. My introduction to Afsky was on their previous full-length from 2020, Afsky Drummer Migdod. I'm probably mispronouncing everything here, so I apologize. But that one, wow, it hit me immediately, had such an immediate impact, such an emotional black metal release. And this one really follows in the same similar style, in the same footsteps from that album, and possibly even surpasses it. But we'll get to that some more later on. This would be for fans of bands like Drudk, Woods of Desolation, Taka, with the aggressive vocals here. Really reminds me of West. But yeah, if you're into any of those bands, definitely go check out Afsky. Kind of blends atmospheric black metal with depressive black metal, some very subtle hints of folk, and that typical second wave black metal sound that you might have heard with those early Norwegian bands. It kind of blends it all together and makes something uniquely his own. It's very dynamic and emotional black metal. This is devastatingly sad, but it's gorgeous at the same time. This album is 6 tracks. It's about 43 minutes long. It's just so melancholic and sorrowful. Really incorporates a lot of acoustics in there as well for extra emotion, and it really adds another dimension to this album. But it's, while I say all that, it's still very aggressive black metal, almost on the raw side, but it's balanced with these very tranquil moments, and it's just a really beautiful exposition of heavy and light moments that are just genuinely full of sorrow and emotion. So as usual with my reviews here, I am going to do a track-by-track analysis. I'll give my thoughts on the album as a whole, and I'll score it out of 10 at the end. So the album kicks off in outstanding fashion with the song Stormful de Have. It's about 8 minutes long. Starts very peacefully with this beautiful acoustic opening before it just hits you with this wall of black metal riffing and harsh vocals. The acoustic melody is even interwoven over top of the black metal riffs. Once it kicks in heavier, it's still got the acoustics over top, and really just adds a nice touch to it. It's incorporated together so beautifully. The drums just blast away with the aggressive vocals. While it is a one-man band, he did bring in a session drummer who is his drummer in hundrede. So that adds a little bit more. Sometimes these one-man bands, if it's programmed drums, it might detract from the sound here. But having an actual drummer really elevates these songs to another level, because the drumming is really top-notch stuff here as well. As soon as you hear the vocals here, at least to my ear, it does really remind me of West and Taka, just the aggressive style of how sorrowful but hateful it can be at the same time, and it just suits this music perfectly. It's a really excellent way to kick off the album. Shows you that you're in store for quite the emotional journey. After that, the second song, Frosne Vind, is about 7.5 minutes long. It's got kind of a mid-paced tempo to start. I really love the riff that kicks it off, and the vocals sound so tortured. Once again, it's just the perfect vocals for this style of black metal. There's a lot of tempo changes throughout this song, and just really showcases his strong songwriting skills, that it's not just one note. This isn't just a wall of depression, or it's not just fast, in-your-face, aggressive stuff. It's got ebbs and flows, and he just makes it all flow together so seamlessly. Really great example of how to construct a black metal song here. After that, the third song, Tak for Alt, another 7.5 minute songs. All the songs are about this length, to be honest, which is a good thing, but they don't feel long, even though they're all to this around the 7 to 8 minute mark. They don't feel like long songs. They just breeze by because you just get so engrossed in it. This one is another one with a kind of acoustic opening, but then all of a sudden it kicks into furious black metal riffing. It does still retain that melancholic tone and atmosphere throughout, but it's got this underlying melody that gives it an almost comforting feeling. So although it's melancholic and sorrowful, you feel comforted at the same time. Like, although it's very depressing, you welcome it as well. It's hard to explain. You just have to go listen to it. But he's so good at conveying different moods and emotions, and this song is a perfect example of that. After that, the fourth track, Det Darvar. This one's got a really melodic intro into just this wall of depressive black metal riffs and atmosphere. Like, you can feel the pain and emotion in the vocals here. Like, you almost just... it pulls on your heartstrings. It feels so sorrowful, but it's great. Like, it takes you on this emotional roller coaster with all the feels, but it's just so well done. Once again, I want to point out the drumming. It's really well done here. I want to give bonus points here for how well the drumming suits this music. So good job to the session drummer here. Really knocked it out of the park. After that, the fifth track, Tid. This one starts with like a keyboard intro. It gives it its nice folky touch. Throughout the album, there are these like very subtle folky touches. I wouldn't ever want to say that this is like folk black metal, but there's just these hints of it in spots, and it really helps to give some variation here. This song has a really nice slow build-up of these tremolo riffs, but then all of a sudden blast beats come in, and it has kind of that typical like second wave black metal vibe or sound to it with the riff styles, with the drums, with the harsh vocals. But there are lots of changes of pace here as well. I don't want to just call it a typical song. It's just another example of how to construct a song and really showcasing his songwriting skills. After that, it goes into the closing track, Fredveir med Stovet. This one has a really nice driving riff and drum beat to kick off the song. This one, honestly, feels so full of despair, but yet, while you feel all of this despair, it also feels like it's a great way to release all of those feelings. So it's like you bring in the despair, but then you let it out with all this emotion, with the tortured vocals, and just the feelings of this song. It's a really excellent way to close out the album, kind of all these feelings that has taken you on this journey throughout the album, and it just wraps it up so well. Like, this album, it's such an emotional roller coaster, but this reminds me so much of why I love black metal and why it's my favorite genre. Not that I needed a reminder. I know what I like, but this is just, it knocked it out of the park. Absolutely love this album. Everything about it. It flows seamlessly from song to song. There's lots of variation here, like whether it's a song that has maybe some depressive black metal elements that are full of sorrow, but then it also has beautiful acoustics and so much melody. Like, it's just, although it's depressing, it feels very uplifting at the same time. I love pretty much everything about this. I love the riffs. I love the vocals. I love the subtle folky melodies, and the acoustic passages are so well done. The production is just how I like it on a black metal record. It's not too polished and clean to make it sound too modern. It still has that raw approach, but it's not so raw and dirty that you can't hear what's going on. It's well produced enough to give it that overall tone and atmosphere, but it's not overdone. Like, everything about this is great. The songwriting is really on point. And yeah, I absolutely loved his album from 2020. And this one is giving it a run for its money. This might even top it. Absolutely love it. So, now to score this out of 10. If you've watched my reviews before, my rating scale, obviously this is going to be a good score. Everything I've said is positive. I don't really have anything negative. But anything that hits 7.5 out of 10 or higher is something I strongly recommend. This obviously is clearing that benchmark, no problem. If it reaches towards 8 out of 10, that's getting even better. 8.5 is getting even higher. And if it reaches towards 9, that's like next level stuff that I think will stand the test of time and probably be a good bet to be on year-end lists. So I've only been listening to this for a couple weeks. Sometimes it's hard to score things as high as a 9 out of 10 that quickly, so I'm not going to quite give it a 9 out of 10 yet, but there is potential for it to grow. But this is easily surpassing 8 and even passing 8.5. I'm going to kind of score it in between 8.5 and 9 with a solid 8.8 out of 10 with potential to rise even more. You can bet that this album is going to be in the mix for my albums of the month. At least as of right now, it's right up there at the tippy top of that list. but we'll see if anything else comes out to give it a run for its money. This is easily one of my favorite albums that's been released in 2023 so far. But yeah, definitely go check it out if you're into black metal and have not listened to it yet. If you have heard it, give me your thoughts on it down below. Let me know if you love it as much as I do, or if maybe you're not as into it as I am. Just like to get some conversations going on metal at any time. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. And until next time, Hammer Heart Metal Reviews out.